Firstly, I would just like to express my concerns about the appalling way some of the journalists are conducting themselves with concern to the William Tyrrell case. It is often insinuated, and helping to drive home the claims, that the foster parents have only become online targets for abuse and innuendos because they are foster parents. This accusation is totally unfounded, as all suspects are discussed online and not always in a positive manner. It is, however, my observation, because of how the media has portrayed the loving foster parents, that they are treated in a far less suspicious manner than any of the other suspects involved. This poor foster parent syndrome that appears to be entrenched throughout the media and into our culture is nothing more than a push-ploy claim that some people should have superior rights over others. Some get armed with a cloak of invisibility and some are put under the spotlight. Some are protected and some are not. It is a form of discrimination and serves no purpose. To treat some differently than others can obscure the view of what we are looking at and in turn become a hindrance to any situation. It would be no different than to hide behind skin colour, race, being an orphan, a welfare recipient, a stutterer, a cripple, one's wealth status. The list is unending. There is no shame in being upfront about the position we find ourselves in unless we make it so. Why would or should a foster parent be treated differently to a biological parent? Why would or should a white man be treated any differently to a black man? What happened to equality? Why all this segregation? Why should a foster child be treated any differently to a child that lives with their biological parents? Whoever made up such laws that divide, separate, treat people differently, teach children to hide from the truth, to discard the facts, to repress and be introverted with their feelings, definitely didn't have the child's welfare in mind, and in this 20th century, this is what we're up against. This is a disgrace, and our children deserve better than this. The truth is that William's sister does have a brother, and her brother went missing. There is no shame in this for her. Children find themselves in all kinds of situations. They may find they are a sister of a brother that went to jail, or the daughter of a mother that is neglectful, or the son of parents who got divorced, or a foster child. Do we throw a cloak of invisibility over them all? Teach them to hide away, to be ashamed, as if in some way they are responsible for the situation that they find themselves in? Or do we reassure them, offer support, encourage them to express how they are feeling, allow them to move on normally with dignity, with their heads held high, rather than to be hidden as if to be ashamed of a situation that they themselves were not responsible for? It is the adults that reinforce the stigma, as they can work both ways and often become self-serving, so they get put on reserve, lurking in the background until a certain situation calls on them, like to remain anonymous. This can be a great benefit when you want to be irrelevant, no face, no name, no past. What difference does it make if you are a foster parent or not? Contradictions do not go hand in hand with being a foster parent. Contradictions leave you wondering if something happened or if it didn't. They demonstrate the inconsistencies and leave you doubting if you are being told the truth or not. And as with many investigations, it's usually the contradictions that bring the suspect undone. But in the William Tyrrell case, it is like the contradictions are being ignored and glossed over as irrelevant, and yet it is imperative that no stone should be left unturned. This stigma that is continually being maintained about being a foster parent or a foster child is a total distraction. We are hearing more and more about the loving foster parents than we are about William. It goes without saying that everyone should be treated with the same respect, no better or no worse, and that foster parents and their children should be treated no differently to biological parents and their children in the same situation. Until we stop casting aspersions that foster parents need to be treated differently to everyone else, we will continue to reinforce the stigma and teach our children the same. The fact is that if you keep hiding behind a cloak of invisibility and insist that the children hide there with you, then it only reinforces to that child that they are not like other children. William's little sister, on the insistence of the adults in her life, has had to keep what happened to her brother a secret. This would not have happened if she had not been a foster child. On the insistence of the adults in her life, she has had to deny William's very existence. And as a justification by the adults, we get told that this is for her own good. For her own good. This statement reinforces the stigma and reeks with distortion. People can spread as many tales as they like and have them reinforced by journalists who are not interested in the truth, but in numbers and book sales. And they can tell us that they understand such actions, which encourages this sort of behaviour. The fact is that this child is being totally suppressed, and her brother, who she loves so much, she's not able to speak out about or to share her feelings with her friends. She's not able to tell her story, and all because the adults in her life want to remain anonymous. What are we doing to our foster children? Has anyone stopped and looked? What are we doing to this little girl? If we cared, like we make out we do, we would stamp out the laws to keep them separated and make them feel different from other children. How can we claim to live in a democracy while we have one set of rules for the children brought up by biological parents and another set of rules for our foster children?